The following is a transcript between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am, originally produced on July 7th, 2021, under the constellation of Cancer, in the mental week, examining through the knee chakra. I am. Before the dream wove mythologies and cosmogonies, before time was coined in days, the sea, always the sea, was already there and was. Who is the sea? Who is that violent and ancient being that gnaws the pillars of the earth and is one and many seas and abyss and brightness and chance and wind? Whoever looks at the seas for the first time, always, with the awe of the elemental things leave. The beautiful evenings, the moon, the fire of a bonfire. Who is the sea? Who am I? I will know it the day after it succeeds the agony. George Louis Borges. Me. What is the sea? I am. The sea is love. And you can only reach the sea when you let go of everything you drag in the river. When you free yourself from the sediment that you carry with you, clouding your waters, which rush through the channels between the mountains and valleys, canyons and plains. Today you have the catharsis of the bay, the stirring of your fresh and salty waters. How do you feel? Me, horribly. After 3 days of not getting out of bed in a state of depression, I decided to go out. It took courage, and I said to myself, you can't spend more than 3 days locked up. So I went out. I went out to buy some things I needed. I went for a walk. I went to the movies. I went out to eat. And sitting in a restaurant, I started feeling bad, dizzy, very tired. At that moment, I was aware that I was about to faint. I gathered my strength. I warned my friends just in case, and I walked as best I could to the cab. When I got there, I fell limply on the bed, unable to move. I fainted, delirious, as if I had a fever. I felt nauseous. I am. You started sailing. Me. I still feel weird, but I'm better. I'm just exhausted. I am. You did catharsis. Your body had accumulating a lot of residue from many circumstances lived. Many emotions that remain in you that, even though you were aware of them, does not mean that they are gone. What you have managed to get out of these days leaves you being freer to face what is coming. And there is still so much more to be washed away in the waves of the sea. Me. I feel shame and regret for the things that I said yesterday, those emotions that do not represent me. I am. Oh no. Remember, we are working the subconscious. Nothing can be judged here. It's like judging a baby for crying without taking into consideration that it does not know how to talk yet. Me. But I know how to speak, and I feel horrible what I feel. Those truths that were inside of me and the pain of my soul. I don't know with what face to look at the world after saying such things. I am catharsis. The word comes from the Greek katharos, clean, and sis, action. That is to say, purification or purge. It has two poles of reaction, the physis and the psyche, that is, in the body and in the soul. Catharsis is the means of purification in which the parasites or excess that poison the body begin to suppurate, leaving it as a reaction that is not usually pleasant because it hurts, it bothers, it disgusts, it nauseates, it repulses. In the case of the soul, all of the stagnant emotions, the unspoken words, all of it must ooze out, and it is not a pleasant process either. It also hurts, it nauseates, it bothers, it disgusts. When a parasite is emerging from the body during the cathartic process, the individual recognizes what was inside of him, realizing what he allowed to inhabit him for so long and now needs to let go. And it is horrible, it is unpleasant, but necessary. Judging the process of catharsis does nothing but hold the parasite inside of you. You don't have to prove your holiness or morality to anyone. You just have to be consistent, and catharsis is part of that purging process. The things you have said are your parasites, emotions, and thoughts that are eating you up inside. I can notice how your skin is filling up with internal stings, and it is oozing the poison water of your organism. Me. I itch all over a lot, the little blisters on my hands and feet and my armpits. I am. Emotions of guilt, hatred, abandonment, lack of love are emerging, and are your cries of anger, rage, resentment, and nothing more than those same blisters in your soul. How to judge them? You can ask for forgiveness. If you feel it, let it go. Free yourself from the conditioning of what they make you feel. Me. What I experienced with this blackout, the deep dream that flooded me, was catharsis, and I have already lived this. I am. Of course you have. For a day never ceases to reach the sea. For millions of years, rivers continue to flow through the lands, and much must happen for them to change their course and disappear. But water will always find its way to the sea. The sea is all that great body of water that borders the continental lands. The sea envelops the continents, their peninsulas and islands, and maintain contact with the living, but they are free from the structures of life. The seas receive everything equally, everything that the earth sends to it, and was once limited by geography. The seas envelop in freedom. It purges the hard pieces of sedimentary matter, and wave after wave turns them into soft, tiny grains of sand. All that was once painful and dragging, the sea turns them into fine, soft ground on which you can walk barefoot. Give the sea all your weight, all that you drag, and let it turn your hate into love. Me. How can hate live in me? I am, because hate is the brother of pain. Me. And why do I still feel pain? I am, because pain is the brother of grief. Me. How can I continue to grieve for so long? I am, because grief is the brother of melancholy. Me. And why do I live full of melancholy? I am, because melancholy is the sister of memory. Me. And why do I not heal those memories? I am, because memory is the sister of remembrance. Me. And why do we remember? I am, because it is the only way to return to the heart. Me. Why is going back to the heart so painful if it represents love? I am, because love is eternal, like the waves of the sea. They are the eternal return to oneself, the ceaseless beat of life. And as I have told you, the little tiny grains of sand only exist because of the eternal return of the waves on the shore, which polish the roughness, the rocks, the crust, the corals, until they become fine and smooth white beaches. It is the eternal return to the memories of pain and hatred that patiently polish the soul to the smoothness of infinite love. Me, oh, I am, but instead of releasing them into the sea, you hold them inside, you hide under the earth, and you will only make the process more painful. Me, we all go through this. I am. No one escapes this natural process. Do you think that the great teachers of history were born loving? And they came to Jerusalem, and Jesus entered into the temple and began to cast out them who sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them who sold doves, and suffered no man to pass through the temple carrying any vessels. And he taught them, saying, It is not written, My house shall be called the house of prayer for all nations, but ye have made it a den of thieves. That's Mark 11:15-17. Me, the anger. I am, or the anguish. My God, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou so far from my salvation and from my words of my cry? My God, I cry by day, and you do not answer, and by night, and there is no rest for me. But thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. Our father trusted in thee. They trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cry unto thee, and were delivered. They trusted in thee, and were not ashamed. But I am a worm, and no man. I am a reproach to men, and despised of the people. All they that see me mock me, and they stretch out their mouths, and they shake their heads, saying, He hath committed himself unto the Lord. Let him deliver him, save him, because he delighteth in him. But thou art he that has brought me forth out of the womb, he that made me confident from the time that I was at my mother's breast. On you I cast before I was born. From my mother's womb you are my God. Be not far from me, for my trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have compassed me about. Strong bulls of Bashan have compassed me about. They have opened their mouths upon me like a raven and roaring lion. I am poured out like waters, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, melting in the midst of my bowels. My strength is dried up like the potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to the roof of my mouth, and thou hast laid me in the dust of death. For dogs have circled around me, a band of wicked men have compassed around me. And they have pierced my hands and my feet. I cannot count all my bones. Meanwhile they look upon me and behold me. They divide my garments among them and cast lots for my clothing. But be not far from me, O Lord, my strength. Make haste to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my life from the power of the dog. Save me from the lion's mouth, and deliver me from the horns of the buffaloes. Psalms 22. Me. At the last moment, he also hesitated. I am. At the end of a path brings to light all that is hopeless about it. That which, because you were focused on purpose, you have not allowed yourself to see. Fear, pain, abandonment, anguish, doubt, rage, anger, bewilderment. All masters have gone through what every human in the world goes through. It's just that you usually recognize their legacy and not their afflictions. And without that catharsis, there is no understanding. What is the phrase after all of this that everyone remembers? Me. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I am love. And their pain and anguish ends up becoming a message of transcendence. Without catharsis, there is no light and no understanding. Without the purging of the waves, there is no gentle eternity. It is the shadow that allows you to see the light, and after all night, dawn breaks. You are living the initiatory path of mastery, and not alone, but together with 12,000 people day by day. And their voices are the waves of the sea that purge your roughness. Me, their messages. I am their teachings. In the darkest hour of your year, you receive the light of a loving sea from those who receive your sediments. In Cancer, the one who has thought to be the father or mother becomes the son or the daughter cradled by the great family. Me, yes. I am. Each one understands what he can, and I say no matter to others. It sounds a bit harsh, but I think that it is true that you do not make us grow. Each one of us is responsible to leave ignorance and grow by ourselves. Each one of us, our own river. You give us the material with which we can reflect on ourselves, and there is nothing more you can do. For that, there is nothing else to be grateful to you. Whether or not we grow from that is up to us, to each individual. Joseph. Matias. Humanity, humans are beautiful, but they follow a script, the script of life that they think is real. What we live is difficult because it is sewn in the fabric that unravels. Try to see all of your sums. You owe nothing to anyone but yourself. Stop being everyone's father and find yourself. I think that that is what you came here for, and I think that is the aim of the game that seems meaningless and even simple, but it is not. Your mission is to find yourself and to be happy. You will achieve it. Take good care of yourself, and maybe the dark and the light are not so alien as we think. Janet. There are no uncomfortable words. What is uncomfortable is that those words provoke in me, and through hurt, it will not change its nature. Irene. When you realize that you chose the experience to learn about yourself, it becomes easier to understand and forgive both oneself and others. Lucia. Nothing ends. It is the prologue of a book that we must dream and create. Adriana. Allow oneself to feel all the hate and anger because it's okay. That's how it should be. Let it flow until you manage to transform it into something healthier and more harmonious with your being. But do it for you, for the love of you. Don't worry about the rest. Nebnaka. He is coming. All that we know is about to be no more. From the sky it falls with thunderous sounds, and to the earth it falls standing in its place. He is coming. It is the beginning of the end, and the beginning at last. Milia. Diversity in unity, developing the awareness of mutual respect, help, and affection. No matter if one reads about the quantum physics and another watches videos of kittens, all is Mother Nature, and all is okay if it concerns its research, love, and comprehension. The Golden Mother. However, it is good to arrive at the bay, to arrive to realize that the whole trip was an experience, to return to the same point, but different. Carlos. Let me remind you, my friend, that there are millions of possibilities in every millisecond of your life, but you choose to ignore them. Drop a bucket of water on your head and pierce or break the veil that you consider as a blockage or separation between you and what you want. Right and wrong, love and hate, they all hold hands and throw a party. Believe everything and believe nothing. You must focus for just 1 second, then release and let go of all of those attachments to what might be. Ligia. Get away from everything that will get you away from you, Diana. There is no purpose, the void. We are humans, hummus. Appendages of Mother Earth to assist her in her transcendence. We are conglomerates of races of the universe, experiencing the transcending matter, energy, and vibration. Alfaro. Do not hate humanity, but see them as children who are still young in spirit and do not know any better. Do not listen to the critics. They are looking for a fight, and they refuse to look within themselves, so don't waste your energy. Go out into the world and find happiness again, and I will share in your joy. Kath. It is good to go through all this storm, because it is the end of the view that is beautiful and much higher. Gisli. I am grateful for mistakes because I learn from them. Ani. Learning to be kind with ourselves and others, learning to love ourselves unconditionally, and learning to love others unconditionally, understanding that we are never alone, which means that we are all one. Alina. Getting muddy was how you began yesterday's vlog. Yes, it can mean a mess, a humiliation, a bog, but also dive in, experiment, make a creative mess. You are free. We are not guaranteed perfection in this world, but if it's hard to understand, we can call it art. Celeste. And the list goes on for more than 340 days. Me, a sea of masters. I am. You have delivered the information that comes from the mountain through lineaments in the river flows to the sea of masters that take your material and mold them with each wave and each response. Me, as if my post were the beaches and your comments the waves that give it meaning. I am, that give you love, heartbeats of the heart of the sea. You may have delivered the sediments, but in their responses that shape it, teaching you new ones and educating you. In this moment of catharsis, then, allow yourself to be shaped by the waves of the net. Me. Its waves sustain me. It is the matrix of the universe materialized. I am, that reflects and contains your gifts and pains. You are not alone, for you are all. Let yourself be carried by the waves of the sea. Float on the surface without force. Listen to the waves breaking against the shores. Let its water purge the roughness, the parasites that emerge from your body and soul. See how the nausea of being a castaway leads you to become a navigator capable of steering your own ship on the loving shores of the subconscious. Me. I can start to feel the calm, to breathe, feeling the freshness of its waves. I am. You can do it. You are freeing yourself, turning hate into love, recognizing that your mission was to find the obstacles in your way and to bring them, to smooth them into the eternal waves of the sea. Me. I honor the catharsis that left me in the shadows in order to see the light dawning on the waves of the beach, bathing in the waters of the subconscious. I am. The sea is the Lucifer of the blue. Poor sea condemned to eternal movement, having previously been still in the firmament. But love redeemed you from your bitterness. You gave birth to Venus pure, and your depths remained virgin and without pain. Thy sorrows are beautiful, the sea of glamorous spasms. And today, instead of stars, you have a greenish octopus. Endure your suffering, formidable Satan. Christ walked for you, and so did bread. Federico Garcia Lorca. Me, I am a dreamer of possibilities. I am. A new dream is possible.